Morning.
He's young and young every day.
I know. You've heard Scott, you've heard Steve, you heard Greg. What a wonderful crowd. Were you all here yesterday? Yeah. Probably. Yeah. I don't know what to say anymore. So you can come up here and give my presentation. Right. Well, Greg gave you a great introduction into the whole category of weight loss and how important it is in the industry and also for health in general. So what I'm going to do is perhaps give you a little bit of history in terms of how we came to TR90 and talk a little bit about the science behind it, why we think this is most likely the most well-studied and the best developed weight management system in the industry when it launches in a couple of months. So I think the key thing, there's one constant that I just want to repeat what Greg said, and hopefully you remember that. The one constant in weight loss is you always get your weight back. That's the challenge, and that's the reason why they're called diets, because you don't stay on diets. And once you get off the diet, there's always a very high likelihood that you're going to get all the weight back. And because they don't really understand in most of these systems what's behind the weight loss, and hopefully what you will learn from TR90 is the fact that there's a lot of science behind it, and what you lose is something that you can keep off. Fundamentally then, when you look at traditional diets, that picture on the right represents what we see. You lose weight, you get on the scale, and you look at the number, and it's dropped. Clearly you have lost weight. But what you don't see on the scale is that a big proportion of that weight loss is due to the loss of muscle. That's not good. In fact, that is very unhealthy, because over time, if you don't have muscle, you are not going to have a healthy weight, even though when you get on the scale and the scale tells you that you have lost weight. That's the challenge we are facing, and that's the challenge we want to avoid, because losing muscle doesn't define what you see in the mirror. Because fundamentally, I think all of us, yes, weight loss is associated with a healthy lifestyle, but when you get up in the morning and when you look at the mirror, you really want to see a good shape. And that shape that you see in the mirror can only come from the preservation of muscle. Frankly, none of us mind getting old. We all mind getting uglier. So that's what we're hoping to do, to contribute to that high likelihood that you're going to look really good and really great, is to lose some weight, but lose it in a way that it preserves and shapes your body. There are many studies now, this is just not my word, that losing muscle is not a good thing. Many studies have been conducted, and many studies have shown that with many of the traditional diets, you are losing as much as 40% of muscle mass during that weight loss. It's not just the loss of fat that accounted for the overall weight loss. It is in fact 40% of it, as much as that, can come from the loss of muscle. Now we are beginning to understand that with muscle loss, that can be prevented if you have a high and significant amount of protein in what you eat. And that's what you're going to see from TR90, is that the eating plan is as important as the products that we're launching in the system. So to put this all together then, TR90 is about shaping your body. It's about body composition. It's about focusing totally on the loss of fat while preserving the muscle. So that when you have this lean muscle, you are going to look good when you look in front of the mirror. So with TR90 then, This new science that we're talking about, and you've heard about age lock and how we're looking at gene expression, we have done a lot of studies to make an attempt to understand what are the genes associated with overall fat composition, why is it that certain fat gets metabolized quicker and so on. So we have conducted those studies together with our LifeGen collaborators so that we can infuse those insights during the course of developing the TR90 system. Fundamentally, what we want to do is to have 3 elements in the TR90 system. We want to make sure that when you use this system, you can increase your metabolic rate, especially the base metabolic rate. So in other words, if you have a heightened basal metabolic rate,